Hey, good morning, everyone. It is Mondays. Hey, I always enjoy Mondays. Get excited because looking really forward to the week ahead. I think it's going to be a crazy week. I think we got a lot of things going on with the Fed and Mr. J. Kapow or Powwow or whatever. So, there's just a lot of things on the horizon. Right now, everything's pointing to the upside at the open right now, as long as everything holds the way it is. Not real sure. When I look here real quick at the Qs, it looks like the Qs kind of came just short here this morning in pre-market of, the all-time high. So it's bumping up to resistance and pulling back a little bit from there. On the Dow, we've broke above 35,137 here this morning and continuing holding there and going to new highs. We are just 3% away from all-time new high. The NASDAQ is 1%, and the Russell still has a long ways to go to it's got 19% to go to set a new high, but that it has also broke out above the 2164, so we may be seeing some higher highs. It's closing in on the 21, so see if it can pull up above the 21, close above the 21 here today. And, might be seeing some more upside on that. But I think, when the Russell, I don't think is really necessarily out of the woods yet. And also the S&P has broke above the 4433 resistance that we have marked. So it's see if it can hold that as support and everything. So with that being said, hey, let's get into Money Mondays pre-market prep. Hey, everybody, my name is Rick Kaufman. Just so you know, I'm not a financial advisor and I do not give financial advice. I do utilize these videos here as part of my trade journey, but also as part of my trade journal. It's for my own personal education and review of the markets in the morning, and we can look at things as they go. Sometimes just sitting around talking about this through this videos, I'm able to pick up certain things that maybe I wouldn't see otherwise. As I kind of talk through the process of what I am looking at on the charts through my technical analysis. I'm an older trader, so rather risk adverse. I don't like risk. But with that being said, stocks and options have risk. I understand I can lose every penny that I have. I don't put money in the market that I'm not necessarily, in other words, I know, and am I willing to lose that money? Not really, but I know I can. And so should you. Make sure you do your own technicals. Make sure you pick your own entries and exit points where you feel comfortable sizing it quarterly. This market is still kind of crazy. At any given moment, just one wrong word from, maybe it was something going on in Afghanistan or the Fed or something like that. This market can turn on a dime and take all your money. So you need to understand that. But I'm not a sheep. I don't follow other people's alerts. I don't necessarily follow exactly what other people tell their subscribers to do. I primarily, as an older trader, play income plays. I like credit spreads. I have been actually today should be a great day as long as the S&P holds up. We have options that expire today on our SPX income plays. But so with that being said, we're sitting really good after the pullback last week. So the buy and the dip, things like that, shorting the downside when the opportunity arises. But like I said in the very beginning of the video, we all the indexes are green right now that we're looking at. I got my coffee. So let's jump into it. Let's take a quicker look. I always like to start with the Dow. So let's take a quicker look on a couple other charts here. We've got the 195-minute, we've got a 30-minute, and a 15-minute chart here. As you can see, you know, on Friday, things like that, the Dow went, we pushed real high. I mean, it was a great bounce on Friday. A lot of upward movement. When we look at the daily chart on that, we just to kind of come back here, we had a nice hammer here on, this was Thursday. So we set in a low here, and the bulls just came in and bought the market back up, buying the dip. This is a nice hammer candle, showing that the bears were still in control at the close, but nonetheless, very bearish outlook. And the on Friday, the bears tried to continue with that control. They pushed the price down, but then the bulls just bought that sucker back up, closed up here just to well above the low here on Thursday. And today kind of opened a little down on the and the futures, a little down on the where we closed at, but really strong looking morning the way things are that today. So so when I look at that, and then I carry that over into my shorter time frame charts, again, we've got some nice looking candles here, and we're pushing up here. Again, pre-market's a tough read. Not at all. Not, there's just not, versus the cash session when everybody jumps in, and we'll see kind of what happens. But you look at the shorter time frames. We've got a lot of topping wicks on our candles that I see here. So, but the bulls just keep pushing this a little higher. So will we see a new high today? Doubtful. It's a long ways to go, but anything can happen in this market. If we push higher today, could we see a new high tomorrow, the next day? Possibly by the end of the week, maybe. But we'll see. Like I said, barring any kind of bad news or anything on that front there. So now let's go. I just want to point out the VIX here. The VIX looks like it kind of popped up here from below 18 up to a high of almost 19, just under 19. We want to keep that VIX below the 20, keep it low, and then that's going to allow the markets, less volatility in the markets should bring out the bulls, and we should go higher. So we'll be watching the VIX very, very closely, because it's still kind of on the high side. It's closer to the 20. Would like to see the VIX kind of pull down below the 17, maybe even the 16 level. And from that standpoint, we could really begin to load up the boats, I think, on a few things if we wanted to, if we saw the right setup. Let's go ahead and jump into the Russell here this morning. So so when we take a look at the Russell, so again, on the daily chart, we got this nice looking pattern. This is kind of what caught my eye last week. We've got, that's why I put this line down here about the 2000 or the 2100. We've got a double bottom pattern here that has set up possibly. And so we'll see. We're not out of the woods. So this really needs to get up and break 2260 up here, 2260, 2270, and close above here. And we should see, if we get there and can do that, then I think the Russell's going to see some possible strength to come back into this market. But again, the Russell is the laggard. It is, the weaker one, and we are in a, pretty much a confirmed downtrend on the Russell. But again, we've got our MACD here that is turning around. possibly could curl up. But we're showing some increasing momentum. We've got buyers starting to come in. Our RSI has been trending downwards right along with everything else. We've been in a daily squeeze. The daily squeeze fired to the downside, but it couldn't hold. We still are in a weekly squeeze, and so the Russell still has some factors to it that I'll be keeping an eye on. Not going to not going to short this here today. I think we've got too much momentum. Would like to see this come up to the trend line. We would be thinking of a downturn if we get somewheres in this general vicinity. I'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and kind of put my little circle in here where I would probably be looking at this area here if we come up into it to look at possible more push to the downside. But again, in this market, not sure if I would even take that play at this point in time. Would like to see some kind of confirmation if price gets up there. And so when we take a look at the Russell on the shorter time frame, and so we see here on our 195 minute that we've got some good momentum and everything pushing to the upside. So this should be a good driving force. The 30-minute chart also, on the histogram, has some possible good momentum. We are above the 60 or the 70 line. Has pulled back just a bit here on our 30-minute, and our 5-minute was in a 5-minute squeeze, is now firing to the upside. We'll see if it can. Probably just won't get the momentum here in pre-market, but we'll see if this can carry into the cash session. So I would suspect that we'll see some high set here, and the Russell should close higher based on what I'm seeing here. But again, we don't know what is going to happen once we get into the cash session, and we'll just have to wait and let that kind of flush itself out, maybe in the first 30 minutes to an hour this morning, before we would take any longs and any small caps or anything like that. So with that being said, let's go over and jump into. So the Qs are pushing here. Like I said, it bumped into the high here of 15,172, just short of that on the resistance. So this is going to be I think this is going to be a pretty strong resistance level for the Qs. We set it here. We didn't break it. We bumped up against it, this 15,172. We come up to it again, and then we failed, and that's when we got the pushback down to the daily 50. We caught the bounce there, and we've been pushing higher. So I think it's all going to depend on the FANG stocks, and Apple being one, Google being another. Those stocks go strong here today, and we can see the Facebooks and Netflix has been doing well here. So we might see some push to the Qs to get behind that rally on the FANG stocks, and we just may see a new high here today, because we are definitely within striking distance of that, and to say the least. And so been a while since we've seen a new high on the Q. So but I think there's a good chance it could happen today, but we'll see. Just I don't think it might happen pre-market when we get closer to the cash session, but right now I think we're going to have to probably wait till after the cash session opens, and we'll see if we can get this daily squeeze to fire to the upside. We look at the lower time frames. We've got some good momentum on the 195 chart, and so we're pulling back a little bit off of that high, but that's okay. We are entering into a 30-minute squeeze. We are in a 15-minute squeeze. So if the 15-minute squeeze it has momentum building to the upside, so the 15-minute, if we can get that to fire closer to the cash session or at the cash session, we should be good to go. The 30-minute is just now in a 30-minute squeeze. So we'll probably see the 195 chart follow suit and come into a squeeze. So if that if that was to happen, then this could possibly get a good push into the market open with the volatility that we might see in the markets in the first 30 minutes to an hour. We could get a push to the upside on the Qs. So that would be a positive there also. So especially for my Apple position that I'm currently holding long. So we'll take a look at that here in just a moment. Let's see, being we talked a little bit about the VIX already. Let's go ahead and jump into the S&Ps. The S&Ps are within 7%, or I'm sorry, 2% of all-time highs. Will we see it today? We are definitely in the range because our daily range is at about 41 points. So we're only up 14 and a quarter. So we are definitely in the range of the new high. Our trailing stop, ATR stop here, is set right here, so we may see a reversal on that dot. And so then once we do, we have broken that resistance there, and we will probably see some more upside. We are in a daily squeeze. The momentum here, the RSI is starting to heat up. It's at or just above the 60 line on the daily. The weekly chart is always bullish. Nothing bearish about this chart whatsoever. So everything's above the 21. And, we get these pullbacks here on the weekly chart. It's just to new highs. We saw here again, great hammer looking candle. The bulls were definitely in charge here at the close and bought this back up. And of course, being a bullish setup right here, I suspected we'd see more upside on Friday, and this momentum will continue. So coming into a squeeze here, so this could carry a lot of momentum, and we could see a nice upside week possibly this week if we continue. But again, there's no guarantees in any of that and everything. So let's take a quick look at the shorter time frames on the S&P. So again, the S&P here looks very similar to the Qs. It's pulling back a little bit, but then we are getting some upward pressure here on the 30-minute chart. We've entered into a 30-minute squeeze. We're in a 5-minute squeeze also. So again, a similar situation here on the S&P that we were looking at on the Qs, which would probably, because S&P is made up of the FANG stocks and a lot of those tech stocks also that will push the NASDAQ higher, will also do the same for the S&P. And so, I'm looking for some more upside here today on the S&P. So possibly a new high set on the S&P today. We'll see. That would be a good day if we could push up there to the new highs. But we are definitely in the range of hitting that. So I want to take a quick look at Apple here this morning. Like I said, we have an Apple position on that we put on back here on this here. Looking at this, we were just playing the range here. So looking at a move up to if we could get a move from where we're at to up here, then I would feel very comfortable with this here. So we have a daily squeeze. We've got some good momentum, very very bullish pattern, but we've been in this consolidation for about 5 weeks now. So we'll see if we can get this breakout here going for this week here and hold that, break that 150 line. So we need to break the 150 and hold it. So which would be above the 1 ATR here. So we'd be looking right in this general vicinity, and we break the 150. If we can hold that, then I think we'll see some momentum come into Apple, which we need to have that because it's been kind of behaving strong, and Google being the other one. Tesla Tesla, saw a huge pullback in Tesla, and gap down, gap down, gap down. So, we're going to probably fill the gap. Well, it looks like we've pretty much filled the gap here on this gap down. So, I think we're going to see some upside here on Tesla. It is on some pressure on the downturn. We are in a weekly squeeze. Weekly squeeze is firing here today. So, but Tesla is showing a gap up here this morning. So keep an eye out on Tesla. I know I'll be watching that. And, it's just, we've got, I want to point this play out here to you. We were shorting Goldman Sachs. We picked up Goldman Sachs up here, and we wrote it down into this move here. We got out, should have held it another day, but we got out down here, took our profits, and we got out this, and it came right down to our target, which my target was about 190, and so it came right down there. It bounced off of the one right at 190, off the 61.8, and then we are pushing to the upside here. So we are looking at possibly a play back up to the high, because the financials are, let's take a quick look here. So the financials are, again, the chart looks very similar to Goldman Sachs, but the financials have been very, very bullish. They took a pullback here, and that's about, a month or so ago, bounced off to, consolidated, bounced off to 21. And so we'll see if this can continue, but I'm very bullish on Goldman Sachs, and so we'll see how that can hold up. Also, I am playing CROX to the upside. We've got a great position credit spread on CROX, and so this here we're anticipating a move back to the highs. We're within 5% of that, but ATR is only just under $5 a day, so probably won't see that today, but this week I'm anticipating a pushback to the highs on CROX, and CROX is just a beast. I look for pullbacks on CROX all the time. We've been playing CROX since it was around $40-50 last year, and so a continuous winner for us, or for myself. And so this is one that has not failed me yet. I mean, for the most part, probably about 80 to 85% of the plays I've had on it have been winners. So where we've taken profit. So, the POP on it is, I bet you we're, like I said, 85 to 90% on the probability of profits when we play the CROX, and especially when we can get into a great position. So that's kind of what I'm looking at here this morning. We've got a few plays here. Let me just kind of take a quick look at my notes here. But I do like Etsy, just so I want to point that out. I do like Etsy to the upside here. It is moving, right now, kind of hard to see, but I would say we're going to see a push up on Etsy. So, we're looking at this support level of the 180 as a great spot to basically where we suspect Etsy not to go. So would like to see that that position. So we can get a little bit of a pullback here this morning. We may jump in on Etsy, but it is consolidating. So I'm going to be watchful on this. We're not in a squeeze on a daily, so we could get rejected here at the 1 ATR and go lower. So back down to the 21 or the negative 1 ATR. So not necessarily liking this as a position at this point in time, but I will be keeping my eye out on that. I'm not going to pull up the charts, but NOW is another one we're looking at. Coke, DUX dash O'Reilly, Otis, Net, Facebook, and NVIDIA, to just kind of name a few. So those are some other stocks that we're looking at here today, but uh, definitely focusing on our SPX trades. That's my bread and butter, but those are how Money Monday is shaping up for myself. Hopefully everybody has happy trading and have a great day. Um, uh, just remember to click the like button if you like the videos. Subscribe if you want to, catch more of our pre-market preps. And we are preparing some other videos to come out, as this is it is a new channel for me. And so you guys have a great day, and we will